Selling on Amazon can be intimidating. Just the thought of doing that product research, the thought of coming up with the right product to sell. Well, the good news is there's lots and lots of successful sellers on Amazon. There's no reason you can't be too. Just keep in mind that the tools you use can be very important when deciding on what to sell. Today I'm going to be talking about Jungle Scout, and it's a tool that allows you to look at all these different important data points when considering what to sell on Amazon. So before we even get into the product research, you should always have a couple of goals in mind before you even look at anything you're going to considering selling. And that is, first of all, do you have a budget that you can work with? Is your budget realistic with what kind of goals you have for income? So just keep in mind that you need to have realistic expectation as to what you can make based on how much money you have to initially invest in products. Another thing is you're going to be prohibited or restricted on Amazon from selling certain products. When you set up your account, you will see that there's certain products you cannot sell. Also, there may be products that you want to personally avoid selling, even if you are able to sell those, such as competing against branded products like blenders, just as an example, would be very difficult to be successful selling against well-known established brands out there that are already established in the marketplace. So keep that in mind. Bulk or heavy products, also highly regulated products, or products that have high return rates. Those are all things you need to keep in mind before you even do your initial research. Now we're going to get into the tool and start to kind of look at this tool and see how it works in order to do research on Amazon for products. Okay, so we are now logged into Jungle Scout, and I'm going to go ahead and get into some details here on some product research. So one of the first things you want to do is come over here and select the country that you're interested in selling in. Now, you may be in one country and interested in selling another, which is perfectly fine. Amazon sellers do that all the time. So for the purposes of this demo, I have the United States selected. And the next thing you want to do is find your category of products. I've chosen 3 different categories: industrial and scientific, sports and outdoors, and then home and kitchen. Okay, so now we are going to set different criteria to look at and analyze based on our research, based on our goals, based on how much money we have to invest in capital for buying products from China, for example, manufactured products, competing products. And so now we're going to look at analysis of what is out there, what the competition looks like, how much money they're making, etc., the reviews. And so we're going to get into that. And so I'm going to pick a couple of different filters here based on that information. So the first thing is I want to set a minimum profit of around $10 per unit. Keep in mind, you should be able to purchase a product, have a product manufactured at roughly 25%, no more than 25% of your selling price. So if you're selling a product at $20, you should be able to have it manufactured, purchased, a manufactured price of around $5. Okay, so we're going to set a minimum profit of around $10. So if you're selling at around $20, you should be able to get close to that number. Just keep in mind, if you're selling something at a lower price, then obviously it's going to potentially make you much less money. Obviously as well, you're not going to have as much investment in manufacturing. So that is one good point. But on the other hand, you're going to have to sell more units in order to get to a certain profit goal you have, say, for example, $2,500 a month. Just quickly, let's look here at an iPhone I have. It's $7.64. Now, if you go over to the Amazon revenue calculator and we put in that $7.64, and we're assuming the product cost to have it manufactured is $2.10, roughly 25% of this $7.64. Now let's calculate that, and we're going to see that a profit is roughly just around $2, okay? And just keep in mind, I'm keeping the $2, the product cost at $2.10, and that's included shipping to the Amazon warehouse, FBA. Okay? So obviously you're going to have to sell around 1,200 units to get to that $2,500 goal. If, on the other hand, you're selling something at $20 and your manufacturing cost is then $5, 25% of the $20, and you're going to have roughly that $10 profit that I talked about. And therefore, if you're earning $10 per unit profit, you then would need to sell around 250 units in order to make $2,500. So therefore, that to me is more attractive, selling 250 units versus 1,200 units, comparatively speaking, with the iPhone case. So since we have that goal of $10 in profit per unit, then we're going to obviously need to sell a minimum number per month in order to get to that $2,500 goal I established. Obviously, if you only have a $2,000 goal, then you don't need to sell as many units. But, in this, for the purpose of this, we're going to assume that you want to make $2,500, and that in that case, you would need to sell 250 units, assuming you have a profit of around $10. So the next thing you want to look at is reviews. Now you need to stay under a certain amount of competitors' reviews. So if you're looking at the competition and they have thousands of reviews, it's going to be pretty difficult to compete. So I'm going to say that we want to stay around 80 reviews or less, okay? The next thing is looking at weight. We want to keep the product weight down. So let's say 1.75 to keep your costs down, shipping, etc. So now I've established certain criteria that I think make sense in order to get to that profit of 10 in order to make that $2,500 per day or per month, sorry. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and now search. Okay, so here we have our results based on the criteria we set. So we're keeping the price under under $20, and then the weight under 1.75 pounds as well. A minimum sales criteria of 250, right? So now basically from here, you just want to go through and find potential products that you can find to have manufactured from China and see if there are opportunities. Also keep in mind that you may want to consider looking at competing products and seeing how that you can improve on products, and that way differentiate yourself from the current products there. And one of the best ways to do that is look through reviews, etc., and see what people are saying in the negative aspect of a product and to see if you can improve upon it. Okay, so this looks interesting. It's a wooden jewelry bracelet watch display. So let's go ahead and click on this, and this will take us over to Amazon. Okay, now we're going to go over to the Jungle Scout extension. And this is going to pull up details in terms of the overall sales rank, etc., average price, and the number of views, basically based on the criteria we set. And it also shows that this has sales of around, so there's 3 different ones here, and it means there's different variations of this. So this looks like a pretty interesting product with a revenue of close to 10,000 and monthly sales close to around 500. Okay, so let's just click back through here, and yeah, you do see there's 3 different variations. So that's what those 3 searches or different results are coming from above. So let's just take this wooden jewelry bracelet watch display and search up here for the keyword. Click on all departments, and let's do a search on Amazon to see what comes back. Okay, so where is our product here? Interesting. Guess that would be it right here. Okay, so now you can see there's a couple other ones that they are different type of material, however, so they're not necessarily competing necessarily. So yeah, the price point looks okay and it meets our criteria. So this is definitely a possible product that would garner further research. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and track this product. And what this does, it allows us to take a look at real sales data, real numbers, so based on sales. And this confirms essentially the estimates that we received earlier. So go ahead and click on Next. I see the United States. And now we're going to call it exactly that product. You're going to come down here and find it, the wooden jewelry bracelet watch display, and there it is. And go ahead and create and add the product. Now we will be able to see here that it's selling around 17 units per day with a revenue of around $323 per day. So there we have it. You can also look at the last 7 days average, selling around 13 units per day over the past 7 days. Okay, and obviously you want to continually monitor the product over the next week or so to see how sales and how they maintain their level of sales, etc. So if this is something perhaps that you would want to consider selling. Okay, so if you want to get started with Jungle Scout, it is $49 per month. If you go with the Jungle Scout web app and extension, it is $69 per month. They do offer a 14-day risk-free money-back guarantee as well, so just keep that in mind. All right, so that wraps it up. So if you want to get started with Jungle Scout, just click on the link below, and that'll take you to the page where you can get started and get set up with Jungle Scout.